Do you want to learn how to play classical music but just don't know where to start? You are at the right place. This is a series on easy classical and romantic era pieces. In this particular intermediate piano tutorial, we will be going over By the Seaside by Streabbog. Please comment down below and let me know which piano piece you are learning right now. And without further ado, let's get started. If you haven't played any classical music before, I would suggest that you would start on a different piece before you get to this one, just to work your way up to it. But if you have already played a few pieces, maybe Minuet in G, Minuet in G minor, and a few other ones, a few little sonatinas, then you may be ready for By the Seaside. This piece is great because it is built on chords. First, we will go over patterns and chords that make this piece a little bit easier to learn. Second, we will talk about how to make this piece expressive and how to play with a good tone. Third, I will play the piece for you at the end so that you have a reference. And I will put the timestamps in the description below so that if you want to skip ahead, you can. By the Seaside is in the key of F major. What that means is that we will have a B flat in the key signature, and we also have a lot of the F major chord, which is the one chord in the key of F major. So the F major chord is F, A, C. And let's take a look at some of the measures that have this chord across the piece. So that's going to be measure 1, and if we play that as a block chord, this is what it looks like. It has a little bit of a melody on top here. We also see that same pattern in measure 4. That's the F major chord, and then measure 5. So you see that across the board here, and you will see it at the end as well because there's a repeating section, and that is always helpful to know when there is a repeating section in the piece. Then the next important chord that you will see in this piece is the 5-7, which is going to be the C dominant 7, which includes the notes C, E, G, B flat. So you will see that in a few places throughout the piece. Now in measure 2, it is just in a different inversion here. There's those melody notes on top. Measure 3 as well, that same chord. If we skip ahead to measure 6 and 7, again, it's that dominant 7 chord. And then measure 7. Okay, so we get the point. There's a lot of 1 and 5-7. If I play that first section, here we go. F major, 1 chord. Here's 5-7, 5-7 again, 1, 1. For that whole section, and in measure 24 it repeats exactly in that same way. Then if we're going on to measure 9, it's a new section right here. We'll call it section B. So now we're moving into the key of A minor for a little bit, and so we're going to have a lot of the A minor chord right here, and the A minor chord, if that's the block chord, A, C, E. So that measure 9 is literally just going up and down the A minor chord. Then we have the 4 chord, or in the key of A minor, which is the D minor chord, spelled D, F, A, but here we have it in the second inversion, going up and down, and then the dominant 7 in the key of A minor, which is E major, E dominant 7, E, G sharp, E, D, and again, we're going to be just skipping a couple notes there, and back to the A minor. A minor again, D minor, E dominant 7. Okay, measure 16, another new section, but we're still in the key of A minor and still doing tons of chords. So that's going A minor, chord in the right hand and it's playing the block chord in the left hand. The rhythm's not too difficult either. There are no other notes in that section besides the chord notes at all. I think measure 22 and 23 is going to be the hardest part because now we have a few more notes in here. You actually have to read the notes here. And then we're back to that same A section in measure 24. That's all I'm going to say about the patterns and the notes. Let's get on to number 2, how to play this piece expressively. So first of all, let's check your sitting position. Let's make sure that you are far enough from the piano and that your elbows are slightly in front of you when you're sitting, feet flat on the floor. This is going to help you to have a good tone, a good hand position as well. Second of all, when you are playing this piece, I really want you to take a look at the measure as a whole, not each note separately. So please don't play like this. And it's just really hard to listen to like that. When you're beginning to play it, you might be playing the piece like that, but I will urge you to feel it as a measure. So the way that you do that is you're going to kind of relax your hands, create a bit of a circular motion with your wrist as you're playing, fall down into the first note, and then let the other notes just flow from that first note. You see that little circle that happens from the first note. I'm just slightly exaggerating it right there, but that's the idea, giving that first note, falling into the first note, and then creating a little circle and letting those notes just flow from that first note. The next technique I want to talk about is for these soft notes, if you could really just brush against the keys. Brush against the keys like this. So you don't want to press into any note. That first note, you need to use gravity to fall into the note, not to say, okay, I'm going to press this note harder. Don't ever press into the keys, fall into the keys. So you're going to fall and then brush on those keys. Fall and then brush on those keys. Sink into each note. Very gently sink into those notes. Let them just flow. As you're playing this piece, really think of By the Seaside. What is this piece trying to express? It's trying to express a seaside, right? Those waves, maybe gentle waves that are coming across. I don't really hear as much big waves in the beginning. It's just gentle waves, gentle breeze. And I want you to imagine that as you're playing the piece. And when you're feeling each measure, that's a little wave here, a little wave, a little wave. And then also feel each phrase, so 4-measure phrase and then 8-measure phrase as well, feeling those waves. Did you notice how the first and the last measure of that phrase was just a little bit softer and the middle was slightly, ever so slightly louder, and that creates a little wave as well. So that's how you can make that a little bit more expressive. Okay, and finally, let me play this piece for you. I'm really excited for you to hear it, and as I'm playing it, listen to those things that I just talked about. Listen to see if you can hear that C and that breeze when I'm playing. Listen if you can feel the full measure phrase as well. want to mention that you will not get it up to tempo right away. Just be patient with yourself and learn and practice it slowly first. And then when you feel like you have the notes down really well, you could start building up your tempo. And especially as you're building up your tempo, really try to make sure your hands are relaxed and free, because any stiffness in the hands will make it so much more difficult to play this at a faster tempo. Thank you so much for watching this intermediate piano tutorial on By the Seaside by Streabbog. I hope that you learned something new today, and if you did, please give this video a like. It really helps me out, and subscribe to see the next video in this series. Remember, this is the second video in the series, Early Piano Classics and Romantic Pieces for the late elementary to early intermediate pianist. So if you want to see the next one, make sure to tune in next Monday morning. And this Friday, I have a special treat for you, the Muskowski Etude in F major. I'm so excited to share this piece with you, so please make sure to tune in on Friday morning as well. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.